knows what's coming up now. Winter Meetings season, and we are 5 days away from the Winter Meetings, 4 days away from our flight to San Diego, and everything is going well right now. Just trying to get ourselves together here. Got the big news that, of course, Brian Cashman met with Garrett Cole, or will meet with him at some point today, assuming they may have met at this point. So that's some big news, and I just hope these meetings are more serious than the ones with Machado and Corbin last off-season, because those were jokes, obviously, but this one seems to be more serious from all indications that we've gotten. Also, that we will be meeting with Steven Strasburg tomorrow as well, so that is something to monitor. And when we keep looking at the starting pitching market, before we get back to the two big fish, there's some big news on Zach Wheeler, the Mets pitcher, who there's no way they're going to bring him back at this point. The price range is way too high for them. He's looking at 5 years and $100 million right now, which is a little bit much for me. But he's going to get it from someone. It's inevitable at this point. The Reds and White Sox seem to be in a bidding war for him. That's the latest news. They also say the Jays, Twins, and Rangers are in the mix for him.
For Zach Wheeler, huh?
Yeah, he's going to get over $100 million. So it must be nice.
I mean, I don't think he's worth that much. I'm not really sold on him. I don't think he did enough on the Mets to really warrant $100 million over 4 or 5 years that he's about to get. But, you know, if a team wants to overpay, like the White Sox, I know, who are extremely high on him, I mean, by all means, do it. I mean, if they feel like he's worth that much money, go out and get him. But look, he's not going to be your ace. I mean, and you're going to pay this guy, if you give him 4 for $100, you're going to pay him $25 million a year to be like a second or third pitcher. That's a lot of money for somebody who, in my opinion, he showed promise, but I don't think he showed enough promise to warrant $100 million.
Zach Wheeler, yeah, you hit it on the head. I mean, his numbers at first glance, nothing really jumps off the page by any means. His ERA was near 4. He was 11-8 last season with a WAR of just over 4. And I think he's a good pitcher. I'm not saying he's not good, but is he worth 5 for more than $100 million? I don't really think so. But it's what they think they can do for him. And he's also 29, so they definitely think that they can get better baseball out of him. He does have good strikeout stuff, struck out nearly 200 batters this year in 195 innings pitched. So he's very good with that, and he does provide length in the games. And his FIP, which is fielding independent pitching stat, like depending like the plays it should or shouldn't be made, was like lower than his actual ERA, 3.48. A lot of people like those stats. They look at the spin rates, they look at the velocity, and he's one of the hardest throwers in the game, and they think they could turn him into something better. Also, a lot of people probably think once he's off the Mets, he can really blossom, which maybe could be true. We'll see.
Yeah, maybe it's a change of scenery that could maybe be good for him. But, you know, I'm going to believe. I need to see it before I believe it, obviously. So, you know, we'll see what happens. It's going to be interesting within the next couple of days to see where he ends up and just how much he gets. If he may, hey, you never know. Maybe he'll get over a little bit over $100 million over 4 years, which I think would be just completely asinine.
I think he's going to get 5 for 110 to 115. I think it's going to happen. It's crazy, but I think it's happening. And some people think he'd be an ace, and then others see him as a 2 or 3 starter at worst.
That's a lot of money for 2 or 3. That's a lot of money.
Well, Corbin, if we compare him to Corbin, who got 140 last year over 6 years, so I would say that Corbin's a better pitcher than Wheeler. I'm sure
Obviously,
you agree with
me.
So,
yeah, obviously, yes.
So I mean, it's a little bit different, but I guess it's only similar because they both have limited track records and stuff. But honestly, it'll be interesting to see what happens. Who do you think ends up getting him?
I think the White Sox.
I think so too. It seems inevitable.
I think like they said that somebody offered him that, and obviously, you know what? That's a White Sox thing to do, and I think that it's just inevitable that he'll go there. Maybe that's they didn't get anybody last year in the big pitching market. They missed out on Corbin, obviously, and I think now they obviously know they're not going to get any of the big fish, so they went out and got the second tier in Zach Wheeler, and I think it's just the writing. I think the writing's already on the wall. When I saw him when they said somebody offered him that much. That
it was the White Sox.
It was. It was. I was like, all right, this is a White Sox thing to do, and it's definitely it's bound to happen. If he doesn't go to the White Sox, I'll be really shocked, to be quite honest with you.
Yeah, I could also see the Rangers as a dark horse because they need pitching, but they did get Kyle Gibson 3 for 30, which I think we didn't talk about. That also happened in the past week. But speaking of Reds, which I got into before, I don't really think Wheeler's as big a need for the Reds. They have some good pitchers right now. They got Luis Castillo. They got our boy Sonny Gray. They got
who just actually was really good for them.
No, I know. Like, he works perfectly for them, of course. His old pitching coach helped him out. They got Trevor Bauer. They got Anthony DeScalfini. Like, the Reds have a good pitching staff. If they have Wheeler, too, that's a dynamic 5, and it's definitely one of the best in the game, which I never thought the Reds would ever have, so that's saying something.
Yeah.
But even without Wheeler, it's a very formidable rotation. It's got some power in there. And they added Mike Moustakas. This is the biggest move of the offseason, potentially. Moustakas, after years of taking 1-year deals, finally wins.
He finally cashed in.
After betting on himself for around 2 to 3 years. Moustakas, 4 years, $64 million. And he gets that paper.
And rightfully, in my opinion, that's rightfully earned. He did a great job. He's a great player. He's very productive. He's very, very versatile. That's big in baseball. He can play multiple positions. And you know what? I think the Reds understand that. I think they had to open up the checkbook for him, and they finally landed him. I think he's very happy. I think he'll make that team a lot better, in my opinion. And I'm very happy for Moose. I'm kind of disappointed because I wish the Yankees could have maybe made a push for him because I think he would be a great Yankee, especially because the short porch in right field, he would just hit him out left and right.
I really wanted him to. He would have filled a nice spot for us.
Yeah, it would have. It would have been nice, but going to the Reds, appreciative of what they've done to get him, and I think he's going to really, really blossom with them. Just continue his great play.
That's a hitter's ballpark. It's a perfect fit for him. And he's going to play second base. And, he actually had 359 innings this second, only committed 1 error. So he showed he's capable of playing the position. And we'll see what happens out there with Moose at second. And then the Reds have a formidable lineup here. They got Stenzel at first, the kid who showed a lot of promise. They got Joey Votto. They got Suarez, who's an absolute machine at third base. They got the rookie Aquino, who's an absolute stud. They got Van Meter, Galvis, and Banhart to round it out. And they were saying there was some interest in Didi. I don't think that's going to be a thing anymore. Moustakas in the fold now. So
I think that was put to, once they got Moustakas, that idea was resting in a grave.
Yeah, but I think nice reference there. Real ones know what that is. So I think, and they say the Reds are still spending, and obviously they're in a war for Wheeler right now. So they're obviously still willing to upgrade the team, and it's an exciting time for the Reds because the Brewers have taken a huge step back. The Brewers have gone through the purge. You talk about a purge, the Brewers roster is completely flipped upside down. So the non-tender deadline was yesterday, and there were tons of stuff happen, and no one got rid of more people than the Brewers did. First of all, they lose Moustakas yesterday, which was a big loss. They lose Grandal the last week to the White Sox, and they let Nelson go. They let Guerra go. They were talking about possibly trading Hader. Which the Mets are highly interested in. Yes, I also saw he may stay put. I think they'd have to be overwhelmed to trade him at this point, although the Brewers really cleaned house yesterday. I mean, look at this lineup. It's just not existing. I mean, you have Kane, Yelich, and Braun, Heria, who's a good player. Ben Gamble's batting fifth. That's a joke. The Yankees had Ben Gamble, and they threw him away for nothing. He's like a slap hitter. They're going to have him batting fifth. And then Manny Pena batting sixth, who's their catcher now because of Grandal's departure. So they got Arcia batting eighth, the third baseman, and this team is a shell of itself. Their starting rotation is absolutely laughable. Brandon Woodruff is their ace right now. Adrian Hauser, I don't even know who that is their second starter. Freddie Peralta, who's somewhat serviceable, still has a lot of potential, hasn't really reached it yet, is their third starter. Eric Lauer's their four, and their five is Corbin Burns. They let Chase Anderson go in the trade to the Brewers as well. To the Blue Jays, the Brewers just completely cleaning house. They're just letting all the payroll go. It's basically just Yelich and Kane now, and they really just let everyone go. The Brewers are going to take a huge step back this year, so the The division is up for grabs. They also let Travis Shaw go, who I tweeted this. I don't know if you caught this.
Yeah, that the Yankees should give him a look. Yeah, definitely.
Travis Shaw's he actually is sort of similar to Moustakas, but not as good, obviously.
Yeah.
He can play multiple. He can play first, third, and second base. He's a lefty power bat, which the Yankees can use. Last year was not his year by any means. He would be a nice buy low, bounce back candidate. Kind of would remind me of when the Yankees took a shot at Nick Swisher. Remember, he wasn't coming off a good season. Although Shaw was absolutely horrible last year. There's no two ways about it. He hit 150. It was a train wreck. But this guy's hit up the year before. He had 32 homers, and then in 2017 he had 31 homers. Like, he couldn't have lost it that badly. He was also injured too. He was fighting an injury, I believe. He just wasn't right. Could the Yankees short porch in right field give him some new life? I would like to see it. I mean, why not take a flyer on him? I think it's worth the risk. If they don't want to go big game hunting for that big lefty power bat, I think this is where they can get some value. And Cashman loves to go in the bargain bin, so I wouldn't be surprised if we see this happen.
Yeah, wouldn't be surprised either. Definitely should take a flyer on him, see what he's about, see if maybe he can fit in, find a role for him. But yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I think that could be decent. And then, speaking of Yankees, the Phillies just want to take everyone from us.
Well, Joe Girardi, he wants to get his boys back. That's what he wants. He wants to bring his boys, take them from us, and bring them to Philly. And I mean, it's Joe Girardi. In my opinion, listen, I'll tell you this real quick. I never was a big fan of Joe Girardi.
No, you've always told me that.
I'm not. I just think he overused the bullpen. I don't like his decision making, and sometimes was just a little bit questionable.
Okay.
I've just never really been on his train. I mean, the Phillies see something differently. Maybe he could be a missing piece. I can't diss Joe Girardi that much because he did win us a title 10 years ago, and we haven't seen one since.
No, we haven't.
However, I appreciate what he did, but just a lot of times I just felt like he was too bland. I felt like the Yankees benefited from letting him go, in my opinion. A lot of people are indifferent, but I'm not a big fan of Girardi. But I will tell you this, he knows the guys he likes, and he definitely wants, and I know we're going to talk about Betances, I know that.
Yeah, that's coming.
He wants Betances, rightfully so, to go in that Phillies bullpen.
Which needs a lot of work, by the way.
And now with him, do you think, say for instance they got him, would he be their closer in your opinion? Or would he be their setup?
I wouldn't be shocked, honestly. Betances has closer stuff. I mean, for the Yankees, it was never going to happen because we had so many relievers and options like Chapman and everyone. Could he close for them potentially? There's also David Robertson who was injured. But
I keep forgetting about him.
We don't know how he's going to bounce back. But we're going to have to see what they decide to do. But there's also some very notable news that opened the door for Didi even more. Phillies cut 2 infielders now. They have holes in their infield. They cut Miguel Franco and they cut Cesar Hernandez. So they could put Segura at second or third and Didi to shortstop now. And they got Rhys Hoskins over at first base. And they're also interested in Josh Donaldson as well.
Really?
Because they have 2 spots to fill in the infield now.
I think the writing's on the wall for Didi to definitely go there.
Yeah, Didi's 100%.
And the one thing about Girardi, he's always loved Didi. And we always credit this job. Brian Cashman getting that trade for Didi was such a huge success.
Yeah.
But you know what? It's just time to move on. Didi just doesn't have what he had last year. This year, he put a very injury-plagued season. He just wasn't. The average wasn't there. Bless you. You're welcome. What was it? Just wasn't there. It just all didn't fit in for Didi. The cards weren't playing in his favor, and I think we'll all benefit from all parting ways. And what better way to go back to a manager that you love playing for, Joe Girardi in Philly? So, and I think he could really help that team win. Definitely. I
could see him doing well there in other hitters' ballpark. I think he has a lot more baseball left in him. I just don't think the fit is there for the Yankees anymore.
Yeah.
I also think he'll rebound after the injury. He'll be fully healthy this season, and I think he'll have a lot of protection in that lineup. Not to say he didn't have it with us, obviously, but it's going to be a nice mix for the Phillies. We're going to have to see if they add anyone else. They need more pitching help, in my opinion. They need help in that starting rotation. I actually think they're a dark horse for Garrett Cole, believe it or not. I think really? I've told you that before, but the Phillies are willing to spend money. Their payroll was only $155 million, so they still have some room to work with despite the Harper move. So the Phillies, I think, will be big game hunting. I don't think they'll actually get him, but I think it's like how there's always a mystery team. Like,
there'll be a mystery team, and they'll try to make an attempt to bring him to Philly.
Yeah, I'm surprised they're not more interested in Strasburg, honestly, and taking away from a division rival.
Yeah, you never know. Hey, maybe they could be a mystery team for both. Maybe they are plotting to try to get Strasburg because Girardi does like his pitchers. So.
And Romine, they're also talking about as well, and I'm pretty sure Romine's not coming back with the club. The Yankees, I also think it's very good that they haven't brought anyone back yet. It tells me that they're trying to set the chips and they're waiting for that big fish, Garrett Cole, please.
Yeah, no. Brian Cat, this is a lot different. What I'm starting to notice
it's not
this
like
year,
last offseason.
It's not like last year.
To re-sign Gardner and CC.
He now see what he's doing. He's playing. He's waiting to see how it goes.
Yep.
Now you know what? You won't get any rants from Julian and I about Brian Cashman. This is a new year, so I'm going to keep quiet.
We got to see what's up.
We got to see if he gets Garrett Cole. I'll tell you what. I'll praise the guy all next time we're on here, and hopefully when we're out in San Diego, hopefully we're going to try because in my opinion, I'm feeling a lot of things coming.
I feel some stuff brewing
when we are out there, and I'll tell you what. I cannot wait to be. I'll be on this phone all day.
Yeah,
all week, and I'm going to be working the phones. I'll be working G&T's Twitter, my Twitter. I usually tweet about football. This time I'll do baseball too. I haven't really done this in a while, but I'll do. You know what? I got to branch out more. I'm excited for it.
Yeah,
but
now's your time.
I will tell you this. You want to know what I feel is going to
happen? You're going to be on the phones more than me, honestly.
Oh, absolutely.
I'm a little tied up, but
I will tell you this. In my opinion, I think the first move that we're going to hear about is. And I know we're going to talk about this. I'll break into it a little bit. Is it just broke tonight that the Cubs are willing to trade a lot of players to cut money? Don't be surprised, in my opinion. Jules, call me crazy. I could see them trading Anthony Rizzo.
I've heard that. I've seen that too.
I think you're going to see him. I could see it just happening when we're there Sunday morning. I could see breaking news: Anthony Rizzo. And you know where I think? You know where? Hear me out. Know where I could see him coming?
Where?
Us.
Wow, that would be incredible stuff.
I think you may. I know it's a pipe dream and all that, but I just think what in our ballpark we need a first baseman.
Bro, let me just tell you something. That would be amazing.
Would you welcome it?
Yeah, I mean, bye for it. As much as I like Luke Voigt, see you, bud.
What about? I know his contract is a bit up there, but I'm sure the Yankees could compensate.
See Rizzo's contract.
But I'm just gonna say I feel like the new. Look, Cubs are going to now. They're willing to trade players to try to cut money to get rid of their stars. I think Chris Bryant's going to be tough to lure away from the Cubs, but it wouldn't surprise me.
I think one of them goes, not both.
You think one? Yeah, I think
one of them could very well go.
Or would they maybe let go of Addison Russell or something?
Russell's gone.
I'm sorry.
Got non-tendered.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, you're right. There you go.
It's okay.
So they didn't keep him. What about, in your opinion, they would if they get rid of Javier Baez? I think they're asking. That's crazy.
No, that's
Never.
No, that's not going to happen, brother.
What about Wilson Contreras? I think
they've been floating that one too. I've also heard that one, which I think makes no sense, especially because catching's so hard to come by. There's not many good catchers in the game right now, and Rizzo's contract's actually very affordable, believe it or not. He's really not making much of anything at this point. If
this somehow happens, I want a huge. To me, I just want to be like I call it the future.
Well, 16.5. It's not that affordable, I guess, but it's not like too bad.
It's doable for the Yankees. I mean, anything's doable for the Yankees.
It just depends.
Let's be honest.
Okay,
here.
Speaking of that, I watched The Hot Stove yesterday.
Did you now?
Yes, and we're about to cut to a commercial break though, so I gotta let everyone know what I took away from the Yankees Hot Stove last night. We'll be right back. I just did that because the commercial was in there. I didn't want to do that.
Yeah, I was wondering.
You're wondering why I did that, right?
What the hell? Do me a favor. Fix the thing in the beginning of this when we redid it so we don't have to do it later and it gets all messed up.
Okay, yeah.
Damn, you actually did that. Very good. Very, very. I was like, commercial? Baseball? You missed it.
Oh, fuck. What's this shit? Oh, this is when we had the thing where the whole fuck up, yeah.
You did that perfectly. You're like, oh, fuck, yeah.
Let me see at the very beginning if we did anything.
I think there might be.
Yeah, we gotta see.
But like, let's be honest here. The Yankees do need a first baseman, in my opinion.
You know what? I mean, it's possible.
I know in your head you're gonna. I can't wait till you tell the Twitter group what I said. You'll be like, what's he thinking?
What, Rizzo?
Yeah.
Someone, you're not the only one to say that. I've seen that. I don't think it'll ever happen, but it's fun to think about. Oh, fuck. I need some water. I'm about to die. You want one?
Yeah, sure. I would love one. Thank you.
We'll do a quick wrap up though. But I have some good stuff. I think you know most of it though.
Oh yeah, I can't wait to I can't wait to hear what you
Yeah,
want.
you're gonna be the phone guy in San
It's your
Diego.
Indiegogo.
That's what I'm on here. Yo.
Wait, you're on this?
Yeah, me and Joey.
Where you at?
We were at the wrestling event. This was it.
Where are you? Let me see.
I was right behind there, right there.
Shit.
I'm trying to Clayton Kershaw. What happened to him?
He can't pitch in the playoffs.
How big is his contract?
Huge.
Does he make over $25 a year?
Yeah, he does.
How much does Corbin make a year?
6 for 140. That puts him at like 25. That does it. That puts him close to 25. I think it's under 25.
Jules, are you a big boy?
I'm huge.
Dude, you lost weight. You weigh 190.
I wish.
What do you weigh?
Like, I don't even know. Like 195, I guess. We're back. So for the hot stove, I was watching. Meredith Marakovich asked an excellent question. And this is the question that I've been asking myself the whole offseason, and I think most Yankee fans are also. Will the Yankees go over the third tax bracket to get Garrett Cole? Would they be willing to do this? And I thought this was outstanding. And Hal's answer gave me a little bit of concern, if I'm going to be honest about it.
What did he say?
He said he was like that. He said he has concerns about doing it because of draft picks and paying, and basically the ramifications that go with the tax and paying all the other teams and everything. But he said it's not complete. He said it's not off the table. He said he will consider doing it, but he wasn't like, yeah, I'll definitely do it. It was like a half-assed answer to me.
I think, like, you know what? In a way, I feel like he's
showing
his poker face. He's not going to give up his hand. In a way,
yeah, he went
so I like how he's in a way. You know what this is sort of like? I think he's Belichicking everybody right now. I think he's not giving anything away. I think in his head when he said that, I think in his head he's like, you're damn right. After this year when we didn't go and get Corbin and we lost out on all those free agents, I think he understands that we need pitching.
Yeah,
and we have to spend the money. And I think, you know what? Listen, if his father was still alive, he would have said it up front and said, it's happening.
Okay, so here's a realistic question for you. Do you think the Yankees would give him $300 million for 8 years if that's what it took to get him? Do you think the Yankees are really all in?
For a 29-year-old pitcher, that's a lot of money. But listen, I think Garrett Cole's a once-in-a-lifetime talent. I think that he's been in the grasp of our hands two times.
We cannot call out this Garrett Cole.
This the third time.
We can't strike out. And it would be looking, not swinging.
Yeah. If that's what it took, I mean, that's a lot of money.
Whatever it takes.
But yeah, I know. Yeah, you're throwing out them Avengers Endgame references. I like that. I see.
You saw that tweet before?
Yes, I did. That's why I said it. Yeah, I mean, like 8 years for $300 million. I mean, that's a lot of money. But for somebody
That's a lot
like
of paper.
but somebody like Garrett Cole, he'll be 37 after that contract is up. I mean, you know what? Yeah, I'll do it. Let me ask you: would you do it?
Yeah, I would.
You would.
I would absolutely do it.
Yeah, so you definitely. So let me ask you this:
Let's hear it.
say, for instance, the Yankees. This is never going to happen.
Okay.
Never going to happen.
All right, I want to hear.
Say for instance, we had a chance to get not only Cole but Strasburg, but some. Garrett Cole said he'll. What was it? They both want $300 million. This is really an asinine question, but and I know it's not going to happen. Say for instance,
Where did go with
there's
this?
a change. Just listen.
Okay,
Listen,
go
to
ahead,
me,
go ahead.
listen to me. Say for instance, we had a chance to get both,
Okay.
but one of them said that they will not take less for the other one to come. Who would you rather? Well, in your opinion, would you make it work to try to keep both of them, or would you just stay with Cole?
I would. I'd have to stay with Cole because Strasburg can't get that much money. It just can't happen, and he's gonna break down by the end of that contract. That's an accident waiting to happen.
Okay.
I think the most Strasburg should get is 6 to 180. I think if anyone gives him more than that, they're insane.
And definitely, you don't think the Yankees are even going to attempt, will they?
No, I don't think so. I think Strasburg, here's the pecking order of the winter meetings, I think, from what I've been looking at and reading and I guess I'm listening to also. First thing that's going to happen is that Zach Wheeler is going to sign before the winter meetings. That's what everyone seems to think. And they want it done around that time, and it seems his market's moving very quickly. So once the Yankees don't sign Zach Wheeler, which I'm waiting for them not to do because that would be a big mistake for that much money, in my opinion, that really shifts the focus more towards Cole and Strasburg, and Madison Bumgarner is also still in play, believe it or not. We've been talking about this for a while. Anthony Martinez reported that the Yankees are still looking at him as a fallback option if Garrett Cole does not work out. So they're monitoring the Bumgarner market. It doesn't seem. He also said Wheeler, but it doesn't see. I don't see that happening. The Yankees aren't going to pay that for Wheeler. I don't think.
No.
Nor should they. So
No, I mean, like, I think they
were interested at a price.
I think they're just kicking the tires, in my opinion.
Yeah, Bumgarner, I don't really believe is going to happen. I guess like if they whiff on Cole and Strasburg, that's what I would want to happen. I don't know if it actually would. So we're going to have to see. So with Strasburg, the Dodgers have met with him. I think the Padres will get a meeting. I'm pretty sure he's from there. I haven't seen they've met yet, but I know there's definitely some mutual interest in that category. But everyone seems to think Nationals are inevitable. He's going back.
I mean, yeah, after winning a championship, I think they're going to definitely want to bring him back. He had a great year. High on him when they drafted him. He was lights out. He had that injury. And, you know, the way that he's bounced back, he wasn't the same player, but he's bounced back.
He's all the way back now.
He's really transformed himself back. So it's going to be an interesting market to watch out for him. That's definitely a spot to look after.
Yeah, for sure. And Rendon is actually
Dodgers
and Rangers. Rangers have met with him.
You've said that.
I know. I did see that. I still think the Dodgers actually. I've heard some interest. I've heard 3 things about Rendon. Actually 4. So I have a lot of information on Rendon here. So the Nationals want a decision from him soon. That's been put out there, and apparently they've offered him 7 years, around $210 to $215, but he doesn't like the contract because it has deferrals in it. Like they want to do like a Bobby Bonilla type thing, kind of not as extreme or drastic,
okay.
Like how the Orioles do with Chris Davis. Like they don't want to fully pay that right now. Like they want to pay some of it later, and he's not about that.
He wants his money up front.
Yeah,
he wants to secure the bag right away, and obviously, rightfully so. The guy's a very good player, great player. But in my opinion, you know what, the Rangers makes a lot of sense. But you know what, when the Dodgers are in it, you know that's a big market.
Mm.
Los Angeles, the history of the Dodgers. Maybe he could be that guy to help them get them over the hump. In my opinion, just so they could try to win a championship. They've always been close, but no cigar. And when I saw today that the Dodgers were interested, I'm thinking in my mind, I'm like, wow, that would be something for that lineup. Wow.
Mm-hmm. It really would be. I wonder what Justin Turner, I guess, would have to get traded, or maybe they'd have to shift him to first base. I don't even know what they would do.
They would have to really figure out a way because they're definitely, you know what, getting rid of somebody like Turner getting rid of Turner to get somebody like Rendon, I think is
it's
a big
possible,
gamble,
yeah.
but I think it's a risk worth taking.
I also saw this that Rendon may actually be interested in a shorter-term deal with higher AAV. So this is why the Dodgers could be in play. There's potential for a 5-year deal with the Dodgers, I've seen.
Really?
So we'll have to see what ends up happening with that. Could the Dodgers do something crazy like 5 for $200?
I mean, you never know with the Dodgers, and I wouldn't put it past them, definitely.
Yeah, so I think Rangers and Dodgers, are the real contenders to Rendon, especially if Strasburg goes back. I can't see them bringing both of them back. We've said that from the jump, but I don't think we're changing our opinion on that, really.
No.
But I think Rendon is going to sign before both of the big pitchers. That was the other piece of information I wanted to share.
Okay. It wouldn't surprise me either. I think that I think, you know what, I don't think he wants to wait. I think he wants to get this done quickly, and rightfully so. We'll see what goes on, but I think the Rangers and Dodgers definitely. In my opinion, I think he should go to the Rangers. He fits in well there. Goes to the Dodgers, it just makes that team more and more lethal.
Yeah, I mean, it depends on what he wants. If he wants to win it all, he goes to the Dodgers.
Of course.
If he wants
to get paid,
if he wants the paper and the longest
deal,
he's going to go to the Rangers. Because the Rangers are desperate right now. They'll give him anything, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, they'll give him a blank check.
I mean, they have a new ballpark. They've been contending in a long time, and they're ready to win now. So
yes, they are.
So that's how the big three is shaping up. And the Yankees and Strasburg, we've talked about this. I don't really think it's possible they'll meet with him, but I don't really think it's logical. I mean, it is. I would love to have him.
So they're just doing due diligence.
Yeah, I mean, if they didn't get Cole, I would love to get Strauss, but I don't see the Yankees giving that much money for what's the injury history. I don't think they'll do 2 to 6 for 180 for him. I would be shocked.
That's a lot of money for somebody who gets really injured. He's old, and he's what, 20?
He's 32.
30
right now.
See, there you go. That's and he would be 30, yeah. That's
31, 32.
It's a big contract. But you know what, that question before I asked you that was a little out of left field.
Yeah.
What I meant to ask, and I worded it wrong. If you had a chance to get 2 pitchers, Cole and Strasburg, or Cole and Bumgarner, which one would you do?
Oh, I would still do Cole and Strasburg.
Okay.
I'd still want.
I'm actually kind of shocked at that, actually, because I know you love Bumgarner.
Strauss is too good.
Okay,
I mean, I'll take
more,
the injury.
That's more like what I meant. I meant like that. I just didn't really.
I was wondering what you were coming at with that. Now I understand a little bit. So yeah. So speaking of Padres, they made a trade for Profar over to
Jerkison.
Yup. So the infield's on Tatis, Machado, and Thompson, which is pretty formidable. We're gonna go through some stuff on the rest of the market, then we'll be on our way. So Ryu and Keuchel have drawn interest from the Blue Jays. I was surprised to see the Blue Jays maybe in on Zach Wheeler because I don't really think they have the funds to get Wheeler, but maybe they're going to try to increase that payroll. I mean, they need starting pitching, the Blue Jays. Their offense is there. They have a good young core, but they really need starting pitching. The Blue Jays rotation is really laughable. There's really no one that moves the needle, especially since they got rid of Stroman. There's really not much there. They trade for Chase Anderson, but he's the back end of the rotation guy that's not really going to move the needle. Speaking of Blue Jays, Aaron Sanchez got non-tendered as well. He used to be a Blue Jay. Tim Beckham got non-tendered. Domingo Santana surprised me. I thought the Mariners could have traded him. He wasn't that bad. His defense is problematic, though. Kevin Pillar was a surprising one, actually. He did very well for the Giants, but I guess they just didn't want to pay him. They're probably trying to cut payroll as well.
Probably.
Bumgarner won't be back there. I saw someone predict that. I was like, no way. I can't see that happening. Going back to the Giants, Bumgarner.
No.
That's not going to happen, I don't think. I still think Braves for Bumgarner or Phillies. Those are my leading 2 for Bumgarner right now.
I think that, I think he wants to benefit from leaving. He's done a lot for them. He's World Series, 3-time World Series champion. He just wants to change the scenery. I'm really interested to see where he's going to end up.
Yeah, I want to see what he has late last.
And how much he's going to get.
Yeah, I think he's got to get more than Wheeler, though. If Wheeler's getting 5 for $100 million, Bumgarner's got to get at least 5 for $125, I would think.
Yeah, I agree.
Easily. I mean, the track record's there. I don't care about the analytics and the spin rates and all the other nonsense people are going to spew once I spit this tape, because people actually think that Wheeler is better than Bumgarner. You know those people exist, right?
Those people must be I don't even know what to think of that. I think that's extremely idiotic and asinine. But, everyone's entitled to their opinion, but that opinion is just stupid.
It's all analytics. That's what it is. But I guess in the future going forward, he could be maybe, but track record of what they've done is not even close. It's not comparable at all. So it's funny. CJ Cron also got non-tendered. Addison Russell, as we said before, was a big one. And the White Sox still want Jock Peterson. I remember, I feel like we talked about this last year too, and they're still interested in him. The White Sox need some outfield help, so I guess it makes sense. They still want another power outfielder to help that lineup a little bit. So we'll see if they could actually get it done this time. Would the White Sox move him? I mean, would the Dodgers move Peterson? Maybe. They have a bunch of talent. Who knows what they're going to do? Anything's on the table for the Dodgers. They really have the funds to do anything. So it really just depends how much they're willing to go the extra mile. And then, speaking of White Sox, they look Cole Hamels as a fallback for the White Sox if they don't end up getting Wheeler, which I think we both think looks like it's going to happen for the White Sox.
Yeah, I could see it.
I also wouldn't be surprised if Hamels reunites with the Phillies. I think we've talked about this one before as well.
Yeah, go back to where it all started for him. And Joe, like we said, Joe Girardi, I think would have welcomed that with open arms, and I think the fan base would definitely welcome that with open arms.
Yeah.
He still has stuff left in the tank. He definitely does.
Yeah, I picked him up from you, so I really hope he contributes something. I really want a good situation for him, so I'm hoping for that. And then the Marlins made some moves. They pick up Jonathan VR and Jesus Aguilar. So the Marlins trying to get themselves a little bit better. I mean,
after giving up their whole team a few years ago.
I mean, it's good to see they're trying to be confident again. It's going to take a long time, but it's baby steps, and you got to fill all the holes. So now at least they have some infield help now. Although they say VR is going to play the outfield and third base, so that'll be interesting. I guess we'll see what he can do.
Derek Jeter maybe has a plan now.
Well, yeah. I mean, this is what, year 3 or year 2 with a 5-year plan. I think it might be year 3, actually.
I think it's year 3.
I can't believe it. Wow. It is year 3 because Stanton got traded 2 years ago. So this will be year 3. So he has 3 more years to see if he can turn it around, in my opinion. Let's see.
Yeah.
He's got a long way to go. And then the A's non-tendered Blake Treinen. Remember we talked about possibly trading for him? So now the Yankees can just sign him for nothing. Just money.
I think the writing's on the wall. I think we should definitely take a look and definitely sign him and bring him into the bullpen. Definitely.
If we don't get back Betances, I want the Yankees to get Treinen because I think.
And you think he could help out a lot?
I still think he has a lot of good ball left in him. He had a bad year last year. It happens. And staying in New York, the Mets are still looking to trade Dom Smith. Potentially, he doesn't really fit the roster. He's a good bat, but he doesn't have a position on the Mets. He's a first baseman or DH, and I guess if you go to the American League, maybe. But with Petey Alonso at first base, Dom Smith's playing time isn't there. Unless they want him butchering balls in the outfield, which I think they've seen enough of. But,
absolutely.
It's just something. And then Castellanos, market starting to heat up. They say the Cubs and Giants are in on him.
Nicholas Castellanos.
I love Castellanos. He's a great player, man. He just doesn't really play defense that well. He improved it last year, all kidding aside. But I really hope he goes back to the Cubs because that's a better situation for him. The ballpark's way better. Giants, ballpark, Oracle Park or whatever it's called now. They changed the name a million times.
It's not AT&T Park anymore?
No,
Jesus.
I know. AT&T was awesome, but now it's Oracle. Whatever. But that's where hitters go to die except Barry Bonds. I'm serious. That outfield's so deep, man. It takes away everything.
You got to hit a shot, especially to get into McCovey Cove.
Yeah, really, seriously, all kidding aside. And then there's 2 players in Japan that have been posted. Yeah. Ryosu Kikuchi is a second baseman. He's hitting .271 in his career. He's 30 years old. And then we got Shea Samani. I'm not sure if I'm saying that right. Sorry, just bear with me, everyone. 2.91 ERA and 188 Ks last season. He's a relief pitcher, so he must have been pitching for a while, I guess. So yeah. Yankees talk. So let's see. What do you think is an under-the-radar move that could happen and no one sees coming, besides Cole or Strasburg? Like something just, not, like maybe something like you said with Rizzo before. I'm trying to think of something out of left field that could really blindside everyone just for fun.
You know what? I could see the Yankees. You know what?
Let's see it.
I think if everything falls apart with the pitching situation, with Cole, unfortunately, I hope it doesn't happen. We don't get Bumgarner. I could see Jin Ryu maybe getting a call from us. Maybe just for maybe 2-3 year deal maybe.
Okay. He's a decent fallback. I wouldn't hate Ryu in the Yankees.
Oh,
A
that's
lot of
what
people
I'm
were
saying,
talking shit
yeah.
about that move, but I wouldn't mind it at all, honestly. The only problem is he never makes a full season with starters. He's like Paxton kind of. Like, he'll never start 35 games. But Ryu's real good when he pitches, so like real good.
Yeah, no, his ERA last year was extremely low too.
I'm a big fan. The only problem is he doesn't have velocity, so that's the only thing that worries me a little bit. He's a
and at Yankee Stadium, that could be a big problem.
That's the only drawback I have with Ryu, but I would take Ryu over Keuchel, I'll tell you that much.
Absolutely, yeah.
And I don't really want Cole Hamels in the Yankees either. I don't really think that would move the needle. I really think it has to be the three we're talking about if you're looking at free agents. Ryu is the fourth option for me. I'll put him as the fourth option.
Okay.
I think that's fair. I respect that move. I'll have one that'll knock your socks off, but it's been talked about. How about this blockbuster trade for Kluber and Lindor? Yankees empty out the farm for both of them.
I would love it. And you know what? We've talked about Corey Kluber with the Yankees. I think it's inevitable. I really do. I think that the Yankees are. I think if everything falls short, that we don't get Cole.
They need to get Kluber.
Kluber and Lindor. I think one. And also another thing is with Lindor. I saw something earlier. Is Lindor is going to get traded? That's what they said.
Oh, where did you see this?
I got this from Bleacher Report a couple hours ago. I just remembered
so
this
that's
now.
back on again.
Yep.
That kind of cooled down. That was on, and now it's like
they said. And multiple executives think Indian Star is getting traded this winter, maybe in a couple of days, or this summer.
Wow. Well, that's something. All right. The Yankees want to do this. I'm going to try to make a crazy, ridiculous trade right now, just for fun.
Let's hear
I'm going to empty out the Yankees farm right now. Delby Garcia, Jason Dominguez, the two best prospects we have. Bye-bye. Esteban Florio, got to go also.
Okay.
Michael King, get going. And Andujar, get going. Quinn Frazier, get going. I'm talking about 6 to 8 players to get both these guys. I probably need more. I feel like I'm short, honestly.
It's going to take quite a bit to lure those two away, but those two players could literally be the difference maker for us winning a championship. They could be help us win multiple championships, I think. I think Lindor could really help us, and Corey Kluber still got a lot left in the tank. Obviously, last year his injuries was a big problem, but I think, you know what? I think everybody would benefit. I think that he will welcome him leaving the Indians and going to the Yankees, and he could be our guy. He could be the guy we rely on in Game 7 when we really need a win. I really do. I think that Corey Kluber's been one of the best pitchers in baseball for years now. You know it better than anybody. So
he's in there. Yeah.
I think that it makes a lot of sense that for Lindor and Kluber, I know that's a pipe dream, but you never know.
I think I sold myself short on that one. I'm going to try to mess around on the trade machine later to see how close that would get us.
Where do you find this trade machine? Maybe I'll fuck around with this too.
I got to show it to you after we end the show.
You got to show me, man. You got to show me.
I think I sold it short, honestly. I think I got to empty out the whole farm system and then some to get those two probably.
Yeah.
But I did offer our best prospects, Andujar, Frazier. I did give up some really good pitchers, so we'll have to see. I don't think that would ever happen, honestly. I'm just talking nonsense right now, but I think Kluber is realistic somewhat.
It's extremely realistic.
Lindor's a pipe dream, in my opinion. I can't see that actually happening. I don't think the Yankees would do it, especially because they're really missing pitching. I don't think, not that it wouldn't make sense. I mean, yeah, I would love to have Lindor in the Yankees, obviously, anyone would, but if you just get him and then, no pitching still, isn't enough, maybe. I mean, it would help the offense a lot. I'm not sure, but you'd have to give up a ton to get him, obviously, so it's very tricky stuff. But there's one thing we didn't talk about that needs to be talked about, and then we're going to get it going. Do you think the Yankees can unload Jay Happ in the winter meetings?
It's going to be tough. The year he had last year, abysmal, and the contract that he has now, it's going to be tough. But if there's anybody who could get it done, I think it's Brian Cashman who could really sell him to a team. And you know what?
A lot of teams need starting pitching.
You know what? Why not? I'll give you an example. Jules, in your opinion, give me a team who you think would be interested, who could maybe take him.
I can see a few, actually.
Give me the few.
Would have to attach some prospects to them, but Mariners, I think, can make some sense. They need starting pitching, and they definitely would like prospects. And the one thing about Happ is that its contract's really only one more year, so it's not terrible. He has a vesting option that has to be a certain amount of innings pitched, like 165 or something, to kick in for the third year. So the team could just like not pitch and feel like he doesn't get those innings or something. Like it's really just a 1 year deal, honestly. But it is $17 million. It's a lot of money for a guy that's really mediocre. That's the problem with it.
It's a lot of money.
He's a third starter at best, and it's probably being kind after the season we saw last year. So Phillies potentially, because they need starting pitching. White Sox potentially, unless they get Wheeler. I don't know if that might be asking a lot out of them to spend all that money. So I don't know about that actually, but we'll have to see. Padres, did I say yet?
No, you didn't.
I think they make sense because they're still looking for starting pitching. You know, they love their prospects as well.
Absolutely.
I can see a trade, Clint Frazier, Chance Adams, and Shea Happ. That would be a perfect trade in my opinion. You clear 3 spots on the 40-man. You get rid of people you don't really need. You clear a bunch of cap space, well salary cap or whatever. I mean, okay. So, and this big thing, if you dump Happ, you can get Cole without going over the third tier.
There you go. And so it makes a lot of sense.
That is why I want Jay Happ off the Yankees yesterday.
Okay. Makes a lot of sense, and I think, you know what, I think that's something the Yankees are going to be aggressively doing to try to get Garrett Cole, so they basically don't go over that.
If they get rid of Happ, I would start buying my Cole jerseys, honestly. I would start getting a Cole jersey if they get rid of Happ. That would set the table for it, especially if they get rid of Happ and they don't re-sign anyone else. I mean, what else is there to do?
That's true.
At that point. If they don't get him at that point, I'll just be like, what are we doing, boys? Like, what's going on here?
Yeah.
Like, what would you even, like, I wouldn't even know what to think at that point. But here's the thing. It's going to be fun to see what happens. If they can unload Happ in the winter meetings, I will be ecstatic.
Yeah, it will be something to definitely see, I'll tell you that.
I would be ecstatic. So, so look at this. Imagine this starting rotation. So we get Garrett Cole, he's our ace. In the 2 spot, you put Tanaka, Paxton, Sevi, however you want to do it. I would put Paxton for fun, why not? Then you put Sevi 3, Tanaka 4, however you want to do it. Actually, Tanaka's not 4. Put Tanaka 3, Sevi 4, I guess, or whatever. I mean, and then for the 5th starter, Monty.
Okay.
You sign up for that 2020 opening day?
Yeah, why not? Absolutely. I want to see what Montgomery has coming off that Tommy John surgery.
I think he'll be our 5th starter opening day. I'm almost positive.
We'll definitely see how that lines up, but that pitching rotation there, that could be the difference maker to us winning championship.
And you would still have Delby Garcia, Michael Caine waiting in the wings to take Monty's spot if he can't do it.
See, it's the rich getting richer if we could make that happen. So let's definitely hope that they do.
Yeah, it's time, boys. We haven't won in 10 years. We're getting excited for this trip. So we're about to cut it, but I want everyone to know what's going down at the winter meetings. Bobby will be working the phones. I'll be working the phones. We're going to try to have daily shows if stuff breaks, and from the hotel room, maybe even like maybe we can try to set up shop in the big hotel because somehow get in there. We're going to try to work our way in there where everyone is. So if there's stuff to break, we'll have a couple shows. I'm going to go live on Facebook, YouTube, or something, maybe Twitter and Instagram also. We're going to try to get this out there so people can see it.
Yeah, absolutely.
We just really want to get everyone informed of what's going on. We're serious about going here. We're going out here to cover this. This is a big time in baseball. I wanted to do this last year, but I was injured. It was in Vegas, and we didn't really plan it well. This we've been thinking about for a while. I looked this up. I was like, yes, let's go. And Bobby said, yes, let's do it. And then it just happened.
Yeah, so like that. Yeah.
So, all right, everyone. Follow, like, subscribe, sponsor. Twitter and Instagram, GT Sports Talk 2. Apple Podcast, GT Sports Talk. Thanks, everyone. And catch us at the winter meetings. Let's go Yankees, baby.